Yo, Chris here. I'm gonna go do a quick how-to video on how to make a car carrier for your one wheel. I have two XRs, a GT OG, and a GTS Rally Edition XL, or GTXL for short, XL for short, whatever. This does confirmed work for all the models of one wheel. I don't have a pint, but it's smaller, so of course that will work also. The reason why I made this is that the Future Motion car carrier unfortunately was a little bit disappointing because although the one wheel will sit in it flat, what happens is it can tumble right out of it very easily. In fact, that happened to us one of the first times we used it, where the one wheel actually tumbled out of it and came flying up to the front of the car and hit the back of the seats and all that stuff. It's just not ideal. So this option is really nice because this more encapsulates the one wheel, and I mean, it basically makes it impossible for this thing to tumble around in the back of your car. Well, let's put it this way. If using this car carrier, your one wheel's tumbling around inside your car, you got bigger problems because your car is probably flipping end over end at the time. So I'm real quick, I'll show you the Future Motion one and my challenge with it, and then we'll get right into this and I'll show you how to make one. So here we go. Okay, so pardon the mess. Obviously the back of the car needs to be vacuumed, but whatever. Here is the Future Motion car carrier and I'll show you my challenge with it. So just sits in there like that, sits in the wheel well, and that's all fine and good, right? You know, it's not a bad, carrier, I guess. But here's my challenge with it. If you put it side to side like this, then, like this, if you put it side to side, what you're going to have is anytime you brake or accelerate, it's going to want to roll out of that cradle. If you put it the other direction, front to back, then whenever you turn left or right sharply, it's going to want to roll out of that cradle like this. Less than ideal. And that was effortless for me to do that. So you can imagine with any decent amount of braking or acceleration, it's just going to roll right out of this little holder. So love you, Future Motion. You make a great product, but that kind of sucks. So let's make it better. All right, and here's absolutely everything you're going to need. You're going to need yourself a milk crate. You can get these on Amazon. It's a nice heavy duty one. You're going to need some zip ties, probably about a dozen or so. You need yourself a little hand hacksaw. I got that at Home Depot. I want to say it was about $9. A pair of scissors or whatever you want, which is simply for trimming the pipe insulation and the zip ties. Speaking of pipe insulation, you want one stick of pipe insulation. This is technically optional, but a 6-foot stick of the pipe insulation at Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever, your Ace Hardware, whatever your local store is. The pipe insulation was probably about $3 for a stick. So I can't remember how much the milk crate was. I want to say it was roughly $15, $20. Zip ties are zip ties. And then again, $9 for the little hacksaw, scissors you should just have laying around the house, and $3 for that stick of insulation, pipe insulation. So pretty straightforward stuff and not super expensive. So let's get into this. Okay, so what you're gonna wanna do is cut a slot in the side of your milk crate. Now what I want to do is I want to leave as much meat on it as I can, just for structural integrity reasons. So I'm going to cut on the inside of this line right here, and then come down and follow this. And then when I cut these diamonds, I'm going to make sure that I leave as much of that joint as I can to keep that strong. And then just keep cutting down, keep cutting down. Then when I come down here, I'm going to take this and let this become a ramp. So it's almost like a U shape. And then come up the other side, do it on both sides. And then we'll be on to the next step. You can see the hacksaw just cuts right through this stuff like butter. Okay, because you can see we got a slot there now. Pretty self-explanatory. And we're going to repeat it on the other side. Okay, so we have our other notch lined up. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Now we're going to take our pipe insulation. So we got this pipe insulation now, and now you can kind of see what we're going to do is we're going to put this protective barrier on here so that we do not scratch up our rails or our board as we put it in and out. So just kind of hold it up, get a rough cut there, give yourself a little bit of extra just in case. Pretty self-explanatory. Run this right up to the edge. And then I'm going to, if you want to get real fancy, you can drill some holes. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to run it straight through the diamond. Okay, and that's one side. Now we're going to do the other. All right, so there we go. Kind of see the idea. See what we're working with here. Now I'm just going to clean up these zip ties, snug them if they need to be snugged, but mostly just trim off the loose ends here. Right, and there is the finished product. And you know, is it obviously DIY? Is it super factory finish? No, it is not. Or I should say, yes, it is obvious DIY, and no, it is not a factory finish per se. But I'll tell you what, I am a utilitarian, and I prefer function over fashion any day of the week. And this 100 times works better. That's not an official stat, but stay with me. This works way better than the Future Motion one, and I'll show you right now. But let's put the OneWheel in here and I'll show you what it looks like. So you can see she's snug as a bug in a rug. Tire fits in there perfectly, and again, this is the GTS XL, so if this fits, anything does. And you can see that's nice and snug. Nice and secure, form fit, and that is not flipping over, that is not rolling forward in the car. Again, if this thing rolled forward in the car, you got bigger problems because your car is currently tumbling end over end in a ditch somewhere. So, but yeah, and you can see the recess I was talking about underneath the OneWheel. So you can put your charger under here, gloves, you know, what have you. And then you got your built-in handle right here to pick it up and move it as well. And at the end of the day, that little DIY car carrier for your OneWheel was pretty cheap and fits the bill pretty well, if I say so myself. And again, now that we've got this cushioning here, your rails aren't going to get beat up, your rail guards maybe, but either way, your rails aren't going to get beat up, your hub's not going to get beat up. Everything's protected, safe. It's not going to go tumbling around in your car. So there you go. That's the DIY milk crate special. So, and I hope that works out for you. I hope your project goes smooth, and I hope you have happy floating. So thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate you. Drop a like, comment, subscribe, or don't. It's all good. Either way. Appreciate you. Have a good one.